Prisons packed and government says it had no choice. Tonight on our news, why some non-violent inmates are being released early and what this means for public safety. And just moments after leaving the gym, a man shot and killed in a busy parking lot. Tonight, what police are saying and who they're looking for. Plus, as hackers are getting smarter, are businesses keeping up? We'll tell you the push by cybersecurity leader Alive to strengthen defenses in the Bahamas. Then in our news at 7:30, are first-time voters being turned away? Tonight, the FNM sounds the alarm and calls for answers, making some serious claims. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. The Bahamas Department of Corrections is so overcrowded. Government has been forced to release some non-violent offenders early, including undocumented migrants who were deported to their home countries. That's according to the country's national security chief. With the inmate population nearing 2,000, officials say the move was necessary as more undocumented persons continue to enter the prison system, further straining limited space and resources. The issue raised today on the sidelines of Alive's Cybersecurity Summit. Joshua Williams, he gets us started tonight.
Overcrowding at the Bahamas Department of Corrections forcing officials to step in. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe telling our news that several inmates sentenced for non-violent offenses were released due to the cramped conditions.
Offenders who are not charged with sexual offenses, offenders who are not charged with anything that you would consider a serious public risk, and be, in this case, identified persons, particularly who were set for release soon, and identified persons who we could deport out of the country back to their home country.
While he couldn't say exactly how many, the groups include Haitian, Jamaican, and American nationals, most of them deported back to Haiti. The influx of undocumented migrants into the prison system pushing the population higher. He says the prerogative of mercy was used to release inmates early. He explains how they were selected.
Commissioner of Corrections sounded the alarm towards the end of last year, and they then went through their records identifying persons who have nonviolent offenses, who are set for release in a short period of time. And then they did the background research. Who are you? What is your record? What is your offending? Having, in many cases, a psychiatrist have a view of them that we have in the prison. And then they presented the file to the prerogative of mercy.
Debate on the parole bill is expected to begin in Parliament soon. Consultation now complete. And Monroe says that piece of legislation will help alleviate the pressure.
For some non-violent offenses, you might consider sentences in the community, like house arrest. Like if you do something, instead of going to prison and losing your job, you might only be permitted to go to your job and go home. And of course, go to church, because we never want to stop people worshiping.
Now, Monroe says all of this underscores the importance of constructing a new prison quickly, something they hope to accomplish very soon. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. And a man is dead after what police say was a brazen daylight shooting outside a busy Shirley Street shopping plaza Thursday morning, just moments after leaving the gym. Police say the victim was walking to his car when he was gunned down in the parking lot just after 9 a.m. Investigators telling our news a small, dark Japanese vehicle pulled up and a gunman opened fire. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sharia King briefed reporters at the scene.
A male in his late 30s exited a business establishment in the shopping plaza. He approached his vehicle when a small, dark Japanese vehicle pulled up. A male exited that vehicle, produced a firearm, and fired shots in the direction of the deceased, fatally wounding him. We're asking anyone with any information into this matter that can assist us in our investigation to please provide that to the police.
And police say they cannot yet release the victim's identity and no motive has been determined. The shooting left members of the gym shaken, including the manager, who says he had just seen the victim moments before the attack. He also did not identify the victim, but said they were friends and spoke often.
I am honestly shaken by the incident because I knew the individual as a friend. He was very outgoing, happy, jubilant. Because of his occupation, he wanted to be more active, more happy. But he always appears to be happy. I never saw him at a dull moment or times of being depressed or unhappy or unstable. You know, his last conversation with it was very nice. We had a very nice relationship, friendship relationship.
An alleged bomb threat at 2 Grand Bahama Power Company sites this morning, triggering heavy traffic, forcing evacuations and disrupting power supply in parts of Grand Bahama. The incident reportedly involving GB Power's Peel Street and West Sunrise plant locations. Police say they received the call just after 7 this morning from plant officials reporting a bomb threat. The Royal Bahamas Police Force SWAT team, along with fire personnel and the bomb assessment unit, responded and secured both sites. Officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, Superintendent Nicholas Jackson, picks up the details from here.
The property was asked to be evacuated, and a team of officers from the fire services, along with our bomb assessment team, were dispatched to investigate. On arrival at the location, the officers conducted a systematic check of the premises. No incendiary device or any explosive device was found on property. At this point, an investigation has been launched to determine whether this threat was credible or not.
And GB Power Company has since issued 2 statements on the matter. In the first, the company confirmed it initiated an emergency shutdown as a precautionary measure to ensure the safety of customers, employees, and the island at large. In a follow-up statement, the power company apologized for the inconvenience caused and said crews were working to restore service as quickly as possible. Superintendent Johnson says threats of this nature are taken seriously, especially when critical infrastructure is targeted.
There's no playing when you're going to make threats on these major facilities. When these major facilities have to cease and stop their operations, that is critical to the normal function of the society. It hinders traffic, it puts everybody on alert, and we do not take these things lightly. And if we find out who's responsible for the threat, the full force of the law will follow that.
And a full investigation has been requested into an emergency medical flight into Exuma International Airport after reports it may have been impacted by a runway lighting issue. A statement from the Ministry of Tourism Thursday says preliminary checks show runway lights were operable at sundown. The ministry also confirmed the intended patient of the emergency flight has died. Minister Chester Cooper says he has offered condolences to the family, and the Civil Aviation Authority has been asked to conduct a full investigation. And the Deputy Prime Minister and Exuma MP Chester Cooper denying online claims he had any connection to the late Jeffrey Epstein, calling the allegations completely false. In a personal statement today, Cooper said a document circulating online contains basic factual errors, including incorrect calendar dates, which he says called its authenticity into question. He says he never met Epstein, never communicated with him, never received any campaign contribution directly or indirectly, or anyone acting on his behalf. Cooper urging the public to verify information before sharing, warning that knowingly spreading false claims may constitute criminal libel. And lackluster is how Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is describing the Progressive Liberal Party's campaign launch this past Monday night. While appearing as a guest on tonight's On the Record with host Jerome Sawyer, Pintard said he believes Prime Minister Philip Davis appeared very uncomfortable and very rushed throughout his presentation. But more importantly, he adds, is that the launch was void of a forward-looking vision.
in terms of what Bahamians could expect in terms of improvement in the healthcare arena, in terms of addressing the issue of crime in general, but violent crimes in particular. There wasn't a vision in our view in terms of what he intends to do to address the affordability issues. Many Bahamians are struggling, whether it's light bill, water bill, the price of food, ability to rent an apartment in January and be confident you'll have it in December given how high the cost is and the possibility of eviction. And so I expected that he would have, as a seasoned veteran, again, observing the challenges that our people are facing, he would have addressed the relief efforts he intended to put in place.
All right, to hear more from the opposition leader, be sure and stay tuned to RTV as On the Record with Jerome Sawyer. Begins at 8 p.m. That's immediately following our news. And as cyber threats grow more sophisticated, Bahamian businesses are being urged to step up their digital defenses. Alive Business hosting its second annual Cybersecurity Summit at Atlanta's Paradise Island, a two-day forum designed to equip organizations with tools and knowledge needed to safely operate in an increasingly online world. Keynote speaker Dr. Bright Gemelli warning that regulation and data protection are now unavoidable realities for any business handling customer information.
The threat landscape right now, when we're looking at trends and everything, is we're looking at the fact that regulation is becoming a whole, it's part of us. We can't live without regulations. We can't live without the fact that cyber regulations is going to hit us at one point in time. We are carrying data, we're carrying details of people, we are collecting information, we're moving with data, and we're moving with systems everywhere we go. So regulation is going to be getting to you.
Also addressing the summit, CEO Franklin Butler, who says Cable Bahama's group of companies and its subsidiaries are committed not just to fast connectivity, but safe and reliable connectivity.
This summit was created to foster exactly that. Meaningful conversations, practical insights, and cross-sector partnerships. Over the course of this event, you will hear from experts who bring valuable perspectives on today's cyber challenges, as well as actionable strategies to strengthen defenses and enhance resilience.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kenyon, and happy Thursday evening, everybody. Another beautiful evening on the outside if you have plans. Temperature right now at 74 degrees and mostly clear skies. Your winds out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 72. Temperatures riding around the family violence, 72 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 74. 73 in Alistown, Bimini, we pick up 76. Great Harbor Key, the Berry Islands, also in Governor's Harbor, Luther. Nicholstown, Andros, North Andros there. 75 into the Central Bahama, 75 in South Andros, that's Kemps Bay. 73s, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Townsend, Salvador, we pick up a string of 74s in Black Point, Exuma Chain, Georgetown, Great Exuma, 74 there. 74 also in Port Nelson, the Rum Key area, and Deadman's Key, Long Island. Southeast Bahamas, 76, Duncantown, Ragged Island. 75s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrahams Bay, Meguana. Matthewtown, Inagua, 77, and our neighbors to the southeast, Trixie, Caicos Islands, you are the warm spot right now at 78. Satellite radar composite, well, you see a lot of white stuff out there. That's basically high-level moisture moving across the area, but the high pressure is still in charge, and that's keeping us rather dry. We had a couple of spotty showers overnight and yesterday, but most of the activity has waned. That high pressure will continue to slide out towards the east, keeping us in an east to southeasterly flow, warming us up for the weekend. We do expect a front to get in here, maybe our last cold spell for this time of the year. That's expected Sunday into Monday, so if you have plans for next weekend, you may have to pull out some sweaters during that time frame. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. We take a look at your extended forecast when we come back.
Coming up in sports, more from the Hugh Campbell tourney. Then we head to MLB to check in on spring training, and back here at home for UB Soccer.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. I have absolutely no evidence to support this, but I'm saying it on TV, so it must be kinda true. We've never seen a Hugh Campbell Wednesday like the one we just had. There were major upsets, league champs are already facing elimination, and the favorites got their coach back, with the help of the Supreme Court. The GBSSAA champion St. George's Jaguars were upset 64-55 by the BAISS runners-up CW Saunders Cougars. The GBSSAA runners-up Sunland Stingers also stumbled in their tournament debut, falling 52-30 to the Westminster Diplomats. Even the defending champion Tabernacle Falcons were pushed to the limit, escaping with a narrow 38-37 win over Telios Christian School. Meanwhile, Anatole Rogers T-Wolves head coach Danico Bowles returned to the sidelines amid an ongoing legal dispute with the GSSA. Before they suit up for Great Britain next month, the guys have to take care of some business first. That's at the day jobs, and that's making an impression at spring training. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Christian Robinson continues his push with the Arizona D-backs as they open Cactus League play against the Colorado Rockies at 3:10 p.m. at Salt River Fields. In Mesa, Arizona, BJ Murray will suit up for the Chicago Cubs when they face crosstown rivals the Chicago White Sox at 3:05 p.m. Over in Florida, Jazz Chisholm Jr. and the New York Yankees begin Grapefruit League action against the Baltimore Orioles at 1:10 p.m. at Ed Smith Stadium. Home pitch advantage definitely matters. So does being a little more talented. That probably matters more. The University of the Bahamas Mingos men's soccer team completed a statement 2-game sweep over California Intercontinental University at the Roscoe Davies Fields. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a shocking development in the UK tonight. The King's brother, Prince Andrew, arrested as part of an Epstein-related investigation. And power outages in Cuba and Jamaican students caught in the middle. Tonight, we'll tell you what Jamaica's government is considering when Our News returns.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Britain's Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office in connection with an investigation into the alleged sharing of confidential material linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Police confirmed the King's brother was taken into custody Thursday morning at Sandringham Estate in Norfolk, with officers searching properties in Norfolk and Berkshire, including Royal Lodge in Windsor. Buckingham Palace says King Charles was not informed in advance of the arrest, but has since said the law must take its course. Prince Andrew has previously denied any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein and has not commented on the latest allegations. 6 Olympic skiers from Africa and the Caribbean, along with their coaches and families, are calling for greater inclusion at the Winter Games. The athletes representing Jamaica, Kenya, Eritrea, Madagascar, South Africa, and Benin gathered in Bormio, Italy, where men's alpine events are underway. The meeting was organized by Henry Rivers III, president of the National Brotherhood of Snow Sports, who says many athletes of color train in isolation and face major financial hurdles. Official to note, 14 athletes from African nations are competing at these games, more than double the number at the 2022 Winter Olympics. And Jamaica's government is considering what support it can provide to more than 300 Jamaican students studying in Cuba, as fuel shortages and power outages continue to disrupt classes. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith says Cabinet recently discussed the issue, confirming some Cuban institutions have temporarily closed or shifted to online learning, with one school suspending classes for 6 scholarship students. She says 13 privately funded students have returned home, but most are seeking to continue their programs. The ministry says it has set up direct communication with students, including a WhatsApp group of about 320, as authorities monitor the situation and explore possible options with local and Cuban institutions. And as coral reefs around the world continue to decline, a local initiative in Nassau scaling up efforts to restore one of the country's most critical natural defenses, reefs that protect coastlines, sustain fisheries, and help drive tourism. In tonight's Sustainability First, Delvado Emmanuel shows us how the restoration work is expanding.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
In Nassau, Blue Quest is expanding its coral nursery, part of a broader push to strengthen reef health and protect near-shore ecosystems. Healthy coral reefs are critical to the Bahamas. They shield low-lying islands from storm surge, support fisheries, sustain tourism, and provide habitat for marine life. The nursery, first installed last May, began with more than 100 corals. Despite extreme summer heat and seasonal stress, the climate-resilient coral shows strong survival and growth and will soon be outplanted onto nearby reefs. Now, approximately 300 additional corals will be added, increasing restoration capacity and expanding habitat for juvenile fish and other marine species. The initiative is being carried out in partnership with Perry Institute for Marine Science through its Reef Rescue Network, which focuses on science-based coral propagation and monitoring. Blue Quest, founded in 2024, combines ecotourism with conservation, offering educational marine experiences while actively investing in reef restoration and community engagement. A community snorkel event scheduled for March 7th at Delaport Beach will allow the public to witness coral outplanting firsthand. Reporting for our news and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 19th. Then in our news at 7:30, should voter registration happen at politically connected locations? Tonight, the concerns raising eyebrows in Fort Charlotte. And a family in mourning tonight after a 4-year-old boy found unresponsive in a Grand Bahama canal. What police say happened. when our news returns.
Do you think you know domestic violence? Think again. It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and
history. In 2013, nearly 200 students, faculty, and staff of what was then the College of the Bahamas protested a proposed subvention cut and two-year tuition hike at Independence Park. And in 2023, police launched an investigation into another death threat against Prime Minister Philip Davis after a phone call to Central Police Station. A man was later taken into custody and a device seized as evidence. To learn more about the events that shaped the day that was February 19th, head over to rnews.bs. And of course, that's going to do it for us in News at 7. Megan Shepard is up next at 7:30. But first, it's time for Thursday's The New Friday with entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. And she is meeting up with influencer Olivia. Denny?
Hey Ken, I am chilling this weekend because again, I'm recuperating for the weeks ahead, and those weeks ahead are going to be nothing but a good time. We're going to tell you more on a later broadcast, but as for now, I have a special guest with me, and she has just launched a clothing brand. This is Olivia Brown. Y'all might know her as Liv. Hey Liv.
Yes, hi. Hi everybody.
So we're just chatting it up about her clothing brand and what she has to offer. She even offers clothes for the men and people who go to church. That's right?
All inclusive.
So we're going to get more into that. And then in our 7:30 p.m. broadcast, I'm going to tell you about how I had dinner with somebody who loves Italian food and has put a twist on the traditional dishes. Stay tuned to our 7:30 p.m. broadcast. For that, y'all listen to me. Listen, I just excited but disclose. Y'all let me stumbling and rumbling. I'm excited to see what Liv has in store, and you can check it out for yourselves as well. All right, guys and gals, you know the drill. Until next weekend, deuces. Back to you in studio.
Danny, you're taking a break this week. I'm proud of you.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Good story. All right. Well, thanks so much, Ken Dino. And be sure to stay tuned to our news on Thursdays to see more escapades like that one with our Danielle Miller. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight, the F&M called into question the voter registration process, warning there could be serious implications for the upcoming general election if concerns are not addressed. Plus, the F&M's Fort Charlotte candidate is calling for the Parliamentary Registration Department to reconsider where they host voter registration events. We'll tell you why. And then, nearly 10 years later, could the Freedom of Information Act finally become a reality? That question put to stakeholders involved in the National Development Plan. We've got their answers. And later, our Danielle Miller takes us inside Leola Restaurant, Bahama's newest experience, merging the flavors of Italy with local ingredients. We've got the details for these stories and so much more when our news continues.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
If there's a blocked artery to the heart's not getting enough blood supply. And that means that there's a lot of heart damage going on. And we try to prevent that by putting in a stent, which makes the artery nice and open for many, many years to come. This equipment behind me is what we use to do all these procedures and many more. So it's not just treating blocked arteries. We can do diagnostic procedures to look at the arteries of the heart. We can do diagnostic procedures to look at the vessels of the lung. We could check pressures in the heart, and we can do a lot of other life-saving procedures that are very much needed to bring better medicine to the population.
When I wake up in the morning and I take a walk outside, I see the sunshine, I see a new day, and that feeling puts a smile right on my face. I know just what to do, go to the paint place. So if you wanna clean it right the first time, go to the paint place. Stop at the paint place. And if you want it to last a lifetime, go to the paint place. Stop at the paint place.
Carol, what do I have in my biggie bag? Fries, nuggets, a chicken sandwich, an apple pie, a free apple pie. It also comes with a drink.
Welcome to our news, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. The Free National Movement sounding the alarm over the voter registration process, warning that alleged irregularities could have serious implications for the upcoming general election. Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright, along with F&M supporters, staged a silent demonstration on the steps of the Parliamentary Registration Department, following reports of discrepancies at multiple registration centers. Cartwright telling our news the party received confirmed reports of first-time voters being turned away.
First-time voters are being told they cannot register because their passport expires later this year. They are being told that this is due to new law. That is false. There is no law that says your passport must be valid beyond the date you register to vote. Even an expired Bahamian passport does not cancel your citizenship. If you are a Bahamian, you have the right to register, full stop.
Cartwright also raising other concerns, including what he claims are names missing from the electronic register, duplicate voters listed in multiple constituencies, and deceased persons still appearing on the voters list. He says when these issues continue to surface, it calls into question how prepared the system is for a general election.
The big question here, and this is the real issue, if this is what registration looks like now, how prepared is the Parliamentary Registration Department for a general election? Because elections are not forgiven for mistakes. They are judged by them. So, the Free National Movement urges every Bahamian to stay alert, stay vigilant, check your registration status. If you are turned away, ask why. If you're told something that doesn't sound right, challenge it. If your name is missing, demand answers. Your vote is your voice, and no one has the right to silence it.
And a Free National Movement candidate for Fort Charlotte, Travis Robinson, is chastising his PLP opponent, Sebas Bastian, after a voter registration drive was hosted at ILTV Studios on Wednesday. Our news obtained a video of the event being live streamed, as well as this flyer encouraging persons to show up to ILTV Studios to register. Robinson claims the location is politically connected, pointing out that Bastian is widely known as the founder and CEO of Island's Luck and is alleged to be a major shareholder in the media company. He added that voter registration should take place in a neutral civic space to ensure fairness and public confidence in the electoral process.
We have a ratified candidate for the PLP who is alleged to be the major shareholder in ILTV Studios, whose campaign basically operates from the same location. We have seen where many political paraphernalia has been stored there. Many of the political vehicles are stationary at the front and back door of the same location. And we are inviting members of the general public to come to a partisan location for registration. That has been done, in my view, and in the view of my campaign, in the darkness.
He is now calling on the Parliamentary Registration Department to stop hosting voter registration events at what he describes as partisan venues.
We are watching, and we are watching every action that you are taking. That cannot continue. And so I'm asking the Parliamentary Department to cease and desist from engaging in partisan political operations where individuals, as I mentioned, my political opponent in the Progressive Liberal Party is housing in the belly of his political operation registration of citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That is a notion that I find to be repugnant, and we will not accept it. And if it continues, we will have terror on the location.
Meanwhile, Verizon Media Group is rejecting claims that this week's voter registration drive at ILTV Studios was politically motivated. In a statement, the company says it invited the Parliamentary Registration Department to host the exercise as an independent, nonpartisan initiative aimed at encouraging eligible Bahamians to register. For more, read their full statement on our news social media pages. The National Health Insurance Authority is still under pressure. Amid recent reports, it is struggling to pay doctors and labs on time, with some providers waiting months for money owed for services already rendered. The Prime Minister has confirmed the government is looking into the payment delays. But Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the problem stems from billing irregularities and calculation issues inside the system. He says fixing those problems is now a priority. Dr. Darville says without tight controls, the NHI program could quickly become unsustainable. He says government is moving to tighten the process.
That has been a problem and a challenge for me. I would like to see the doctors who provide services get their money in a timely fashion. Sometimes we find that there may be some irregularities on how that's calculated. We need to be more efficient in how to do that so that the system becomes smooth operation, because it's difficult to have small operators who provide services waiting for months for their money. I've spoken to finance for it. The response has been excellent. We did have some challenges, not so much with the physicians, but with the labs. Sometimes there are discrepancies. There is some challenges that we need to strengthen so that we could get pre-clearance before the labs are done. And it's very clear under NHI what can be done, but sometimes there's a lack of communication where people think that you could just keep repeating labs. The program is very tight and very structured, because if you do not have caps and riders on it, you will definitely have a program that is unsustainable. We are working with our providers and lab groups to ensure that we are able to do this in a more timely fashion and a more structured fashion.
Well, could the implementation of the National Development Plan finally lead to the implementation of the Freedom of Information Act, a law passed nearly a decade ago, but still not in force? Parliamentarians locked in a closed consultation session Wednesday at Margaritaville Resort to discuss the National Development Plan. But during an open press conference, reporters pressed whether FOIA could finally become a reality. Our Joshua Williams was there.
While stakeholders involved in the National Development Plan addressed media about their closed parliamentary session, the issue of the full implementation of the Freedom of Information Act once again coming to the forefront. It was passed 8 years ago in Parliament, but there is still no clear timeline for when it will come into force. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard isn't happy about it. The opposition leader telling Our News the impact FOIA can have on the National Development Plan is significant.
Which is why it is important for it to be implemented. Because if you're talking about transparency in governance, it is important to have access to information. So the Institute, in my view, would not be in a position to fully execute its job if the various stakeholders who require information to make their day-to-day decision or long-term planning do not have access to data that government refuses to release, or the things that motivate the decisions that we make as policymakers behind the scenes. And so I think it is a wonderful question, because the freedom of information is pivotal to providing information to all stakeholders so that, again, we're not operating or governing in the dark.
The first Freedom of Information Bill was passed in 2012 under then Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham. The act was never implemented. However, an updated bill was passed in 2017 under then Prime Minister Perry Christie. Full implementation of FOIA was again pledged by former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis after the Free National Movement took office in May 2017, but it did not happen. Ahead of the Progressive Liberal Party's 2021 election victory, the PLP promised FOIA would be fully implemented under the Davis administration. However, the Prime Minister has since said it's not a priority against other agenda items. As to how the National Development Plan goes hand in hand with FOIA, Chairman of the Steering Committee, Felix Stubbs, had this to say.
As it relates to the Freedom of Information Act, we haven't looked at any of the specific issues in the plan as yet, because we will be focusing on this bill. Once the bill is passed, then we will then go back to the public and begin to more consultations to find out from them what are their priorities, and those are the kinds of things we'll be working on.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Well, the Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard taking aim at the governing party's election campaign kickoff, calling the Progressive Liberal Party's launch lackluster and void of a clear forward-looking vision. Appearing on the Record with host Jerome Sawyer tonight, Pintard said he believes Prime Minister Philip Davis appeared uncomfortable and rushed during his presentation and failed to outline a compelling plan for the country's future. We're going to take a first look at weather with meteorologist Greg Thompson, who is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy Thursday.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. Good to have you on the desk tonight, and happy Thursday evening, everybody. Comfortable conditions on the outside, 74 degrees under mostly clear skies. Your winds out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 72. Satellite radar composite, we have some high-level moisture moving across the area in the form of some what we call cirrus clouds. Not going to produce any rainfall, but the high at the surface and in the mid-levels will continue to dominate our weather. Should slide out towards the east over the next couple of days. We expect a front to get near by Sunday, Monday time frame, bringing us a dip in temperatures once again. Maybe our last cool spell for this time of the year. We expect a nice, comfortable conditions for next week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. We'll take a look at our extended forecast when we come back.
When our news comes back from the break, making the investment of a lifetime, we'll tell you what to do and what to look for when purchasing a house and making it a home. That's coming up in tonight's Grand Review when our news continues.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe.
A 4-year-old boy is dead tonight after police on Grand Bahama say he was found unresponsive in a canal off Luna Boulevard in the Bamboo Key area. His family now left to mourn after what investigators describe as an alleged drowning. Police say just before 7 p.m. Wednesday, the child's grandmother contacted officers reporting that her grandson was missing. Officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department is Superintendent Nicholas Johnson.
On arrival, they were directed to a rear of another residence where the male child, age 4, was retrieved from the water. EMS was quickly summoned on scene where they rendered medical assistance to the child. However, the child was unresponsive.
Police say the child was taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital where he was officially pronounced dead by a doctor. Police say an autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Well, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is raising concerns about government's plans to redevelop the former International Bazaar, warning against the use of compulsory acquisition, which allows the state to take private property for public purposes. In a statement Thursday, the Chamber says that power should only be used for essential public services, warning it could discourage private investment. Government recently announced its intent to redevelop the long-dormant site as part of a strategy to position Grand Bahama as a gateway for African and other global trade. The Chamber calling that broader strategy positive, but says if a private investor has been identified, government should facilitate the investment rather than undertake the project itself. Well, earlier this week, a Grand Bahama estate agent made it clear now may be one of the best times to buy on that northern island, especially as demand for rental properties continues to rise. Tonight in the Grand Review, we're looking at how prospective buyers can navigate the process more confidently with H.G. Christie. Grand Bahama estate agent Catherine McClay says research and an open mind are key.
I really think researching your area and paying attention to areas that aren't necessarily built up right now, but you start building there, people are going to start to build around you. That's the definite thing. Somebody builds, then there's going to be people beside you straight away.
And as you prepare to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, McClay says having an agent you trust and feel comfortable with can make all the difference.
If you are working with someone that you know has your back, who's looking out for your best interest and isn't just going to sell you anything just to sell it, that is going to help you find what it is you're looking for. And it may not be the best possible price when you see it, but you can negotiate everything.
Now, once you've identified a property that piques your interest and checks most of the boxes, she recommends bringing all relevant stakeholders along when it's time to view.
Because if you're going to go through the banks, you're going to have 2 or 3 quotes from contractors anyway. It's a really good idea if you can find a structural engineer that can look at something and say, no, those are just little cracks. They're not something to worry about. They're not foundational cracks. It's being prepared, going to the bank first, finding out how much you can spend, and then coming prepared so you're not coming back 2 and 3 times to see the same thing. Try to bring your plumbers, your electricians, and the contractors along with you.
And as the old saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. McClay says the same principle applies when deciding on a future home.
People look at things and think, oh no, I don't like the way it is. You have to look past what somebody else's vision was and look at the outside shell. How can you make this your own? And there's a lot of houses with good bones out there, especially the older houses and in the older neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods need some revitalizing as well. So it's a good idea to look at what you can do.
Coming up in sports, the Grand Bahama Powers are in trouble at Hugh Campbell. Spring training is back in action tomorrow. Find out where and when our guys take the field. Then in Mango Soccer, they protect home pitch, and it wasn't even close.
It's more than a podcast, it's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. I have absolutely no evidence to support this, but I'm saying it on TV, so it must be kinda true. We've never seen a Hugh Campbell Wednesday like the one we just had. There were major upsets, league champs are already facing elimination, and the favorites got their coach back, with the help of the Supreme Court. Grand Bahama contenders fell hard on day 3 of the 42nd Hugh Campbell basketball tournament at the AF Adderley Gymnasium. The GBSSAA champion St. George's Jaguars were upset 64-55 by the BAISS runners-up CW Saunders Cougars. It was the Cougars' second win of the day after beating Isbet
The GBSSAA runners-up Sunland Stingers also stumbled in their tournament debut, falling 52-30 to the Westminster Diplomats. Even the defending champion Tabernacle Falcons were pushed to the limit, escaping with a narrow 38-37 win over Telios Christian School. Meanwhile, Anatole Rogers T-Wolves head coach Danico Bowles returned to the sidelines amid an ongoing legal dispute with the GSSA. After being suspended by the league, Bowles filed an application for leave for judicial review in the Supreme Court against pretty much everyone. Now he's back on the sidelines and led his team to a 45-34 win over Agape Christian School out of Abaco. Before they suit up for Great Britain next month, the guys have to take care of some business first. That's at the day jobs, and that's making an impression at spring training. Friday will be a busy day across Major League Baseball as spring training games get underway in both the Cactus and Grapefruit Leagues. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Christian Robinson continues his push with the Arizona D-backs as they open Cactus League play against the Colorado Rockies at 3:10 p.m. at Salt River Fields. Robinson is attending MLB spring training for the third time in his career as he looks to secure a spot on the 40-man roster after standout seasons across AA and AAA. In Mesa, Arizona, BJ Murray will suit up for the Chicago Cubs when they face crosstown rivals the Chicago White Sox at 3:05 p.m. Murray is making his first big league spring training appearance and hopes his versatility in the infield and at the plate will help him break camp with the club. Over in Florida, Jazz Chisholm Jr. and the New York Yankees begin Grapefruit League action against the Baltimore Orioles at 1:10 p.m. at Ed Smith Stadium. As spring training continues, attention will soon shift to the World Baseball Classic, where Great Britain will open its exhibition schedule on March 3rd against the Milwaukee Brewers in Phoenix. They follow that up with a March 4th matchup against the San Diego Padres before officially opening pool play March 6th in Houston. Home pitch advantage definitely matters. So does being a little more talented. That probably matters more. The University of the Bahamas Mangoes men's soccer team completed a statement 2-game sweep over California Intercontinental University at the Roscoe Davies Fields. The program's first time hosting a side from the United States was a dominant display, outscoring the Falcons 7-1 across 2 matches. On day 1, it was a 4-1 rout powered by the return of Ronaldo Green after a 2-month absence. He finished with a hat trick, and Kevin Thomas was the other goal scorer for the Mangoes. In match 2, UB followed with a 3-0 shutout. Freshman Rolf Gervais broke the tie with a header in the 74th minute, and Green added a late brace for 5 goals in the series. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. Hugh Campbell, a local hoops rite of passage, almost a relic of a bygone era, and the closest thing we have to a national championship. Remember when we used to have a high school national championship? I need one of the many basketball politicians to get on that. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, merging the flavors of Italy with local ingredients, creating both refined and soulful dishes. Our Danielle Miller tells us all about the restaurant that is Leola. But first, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at your forecast across the country. Stick with us.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Every year, car theft in the Bahamas rises. Thieves are getting smarter and faster. Is your car a target? Compact vehicles are at risk. Don't become a victim. Simple steps can make all the difference. Lock your car. Invest in anti-theft devices. Park smart. Protect yourself. Stay alert. I am PC 4392 Trayshawn Ferguson. Stay vigilant. Report suspicious activity. And let's create safer communities together. Learn more by visiting theroyalbahamaspoliceforce.org.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentleman that came to do the installation
were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able.
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure still in charge of our weather. That's keeping us under dry conditions and stable air mass in place will continue to keep us with some pretty nice temperatures. Temperatures starting to warm up into the upper 70s, low 80s. We got up into the low 80s today, 81 or 82 here in the capital and across most of the chain of islands. But that high pressure will slide out towards the east, keeping us with that east to southeasterly flow. So we expect a warm up for the weekend. Temperatures should reach the middle 80s by the end of the weekend and into early next week. But we do expect the front to get near sometime on Monday, bringing us a change in temperatures. Maybe our last cold spell for this year. We do expect some warmer temperatures for the next several days. While the look showing how things are shaping up, that high will slide out towards the east, but that high will be responsible for keeping all the weather systems well to the north, and they should stay well up across the northeast United States. But the next storm system we expect to get in here, that's taking shape across the western portions of the United States, should get in here, like I said, by Sunday night into Monday, bringing us some cooler temperatures and some mostly pleasant conditions for the early part of next week. Future forecast showing quiet conditions across our area with that high pressure in charge. Some spotty showers likely across the portions of the island chain tonight through tomorrow, but they will be quick in passing and not producing much in terms of any rainfall. But we do have some high level moisture moving out of the Caribbean that should move across us, and that's not going to be producing any rainfall during the weekend and into early next week once we see the front getting here. Boating forecast. Small craft use caution in the northwest Bahamas. This is for the Atlantic side. Risk of rip current still for that area. Southeast to south winds at 10 knots. They will fall light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 3 feet near shore, building up to 5 feet along Atlantic exposures and some northeasterly swells. High tide 9:15 tonight. The low tide takes place at 3:29 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas. Caution flag in place for you down there as well. Risk of rip current still for the Atlantic side. Also east to southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet, but building up to 6 feet along Atlantic exposures in some northeast to easterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, beautiful conditions taking us into the weekend. High pressure will stay in charge. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s. And we expect that front to get near Sunday night into Monday. Temperatures take a big dip. We go from 84 to 73 on Monday. And then we continue those 70s throughout the remainder of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Greg. Well, a world-renowned chef is putting his love for the Bahamas on full display, not just through his presence, but through his plate. Recently, curator of Bahama's restaurant, Leola, Scott Conant, hosted a private dinner experience showcasing his passion for local flavors and Bahamian hospitality. And guess what? Our Danya Miller received an invitation. Take a look.
Importantly, you are the founder of Leola.
I am.
And it is a beautiful restaurant. We were here for the opening and we did have a conversation, but tonight I had a few different things. Can you tell me what we ate tonight?
You had pretty much everything. You had all kinds of stuff. The eggplant parm, you had all those mixed antipasti, the mortadella, the salume, the caponata, the pickled eggplant, the zucchini caponata, as I said, the Parmesan cheese with the traditional balsamic vinegar, just to start.
Effortlessly, Conant describes a menu that merges the flavors of Italy with local ingredients, creating dishes he says are both refined and soulful. And beyond the food, the award-winning chef says he has developed a genuine connection to the Bahamas.
As I was flying in the other day, I just had that, that familiar, comforting feeling, and I felt like this is a part of me, this place now. That's how I felt as I was arriving, and I just love to be here. The team is so warm and welcoming. We were talking about, just the big hearts that everyone has.
He says that sense of warmth, hospitality, and love is what he strives to infuse into every dish he creates.
Food is a conduit for connection. And it's not about pretentiousness. It's really only about comfort, warmth, and joy. And that's what I want. I want my food to speak that emotion into people as they eat it.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Shepard here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you